All right, welcome to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. This is the athlete and the chef. My name is Matt. This is Cornell. Cornell, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Just got done with early Christmas with my family, and I'm stuffed and full, and made a joke about what's for dinner. And my wife said, "We'll make the chicken pot pie," and I just immediately went, "Oh, I don't think I can handle
that." Yeah, I mean, tis the season for eating, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's when we talked on text, you were like, yeah, we came over here at 1 and we just got done with dinner, and it was like 6 then. I was like, dang, I remember those days.
They did tell us not to come hungry because we're going to do the kid presents first and the present exchange with all the kids. And I think there's 12 grandkids, so there's a lot of presents going on.
That's a lot. I really, it's weird because when I was in my 20s, and I was doing a lot of the family things, the extended family, Christmas stuff. I really was like missing my childhood and like getting a bunch of presents and all that stuff. But as I've grown into being an adult, I kind of like the fact of not getting, like, my wife and I don't get each other presents. And I kind of like that. Like, every now and then she'll get something. She's like, I know he wants this, or I want to do something a little special. And I'll do the same. We'll do stocking stuffers. But I'm like, it kind of brings up, it brings more joy to me to see my kids like opening the gifts and seeing what they got and seeing them be all excited.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoyed giving my kids things more than, I mean, we're grown-ups now. Yeah. And we have decent jobs. And if there's something that we really want, we're just going to buy it.
Exactly. And I love that. And that's why every year we go through it where I'm like, hey, we doing presents this year? And she's like, and I was like, yeah, cool. Because if I want something, I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah. And the other part, I don't know if Alana's listening. Let me click on the comments.
I'm sure she is.
My wife doesn't know how much a lot of the stuff that I buy costs.
Yeah.
And if I was going to be like, yeah, I want this, and she'd be like, you have two, and it's
$1,000. Well, my wife learned a little bit of the hard way this year. I think she texted you. I heard that she texted you and Damon, like, what should I get, Matt, weightlifting wise? And Damon's like, a platform, and that's like $900. And she's like, not in the bank. Sorry, not happening. So yeah.
Hey,
but
she asked.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is like the things that we like they're expensive. You know, want a new barbell? Let's spend $700 on it. Let's go there.
But it's also not like I just go and spend $700 or $1,000. It's like, correct, I planned this out. Yes. I kind of mentally prepare for this. I set money aside. I look for the deal. Yeah. Like it's not just, oh, it's time for Christmas, go spend that money.
Yeah. And I'm with you on that. And that's the kind of cool part about our sport, is that you can get on like Marketplace, you can get on OfferUp, and you can find like decent equipment. Yeah. I mean, I've found some decent equipment. Shoot, today I found an assault bike for $100. I'm trying to talk him down to 50. But if he doesn't go down, I'll still probably buy it, because $100 for an assault bike is pretty good for me. And it'll be a way for me to get some better cardio in, and I like that. So,
have you considered a bike?
I have. It rains a lot up here.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah. If it was sunny and like a lot, I used to be a big runner. I'm not a big runner. My body's just like no more.
Now you are a big runner.
Yeah, now exactly. Now I'm just a big runner, and that my knees say no to that. But I like the idea of the assault bike, because I can like superset shit and whatever. I also have been swimming some laps. I think Damon's kind of gotten me a little thinking about that a lot, and that's good cardio. But that's like, if I don't swim, I'm going to drown and die cardio. So, and he can definitely back me up on that one, that it's like when you're in that pool, you're like, I got to swim so hard. And it's a hard thing to do, because you used to surf.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what that's all about.
Oh, yeah. No, there were days where it was swimming for your life.
Literally in the ocean. I'm in a pool, so you know, big difference. But yeah, dude, I mean, Christmas is a good time of year. It's for the good feels. I love to see my kids go through it. Love to make sure and provide a good amount of balance of shaming them and then giving them gifts. So it's fun.
I don't know if do your kids have cell phones yet?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the greatest things that I did, and this was against my wife's wishes, but then once it happened and it all worked out, she's like, this is great. Yeah. My kids have Venmo, and I got them Venmo debit cards.
Oh, I love this. Yes.
So if they do chores, I can pay them on that. If they're out at the store, they're like, hey, can I get money for food? We can just immediately transfer money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my son's like, hey, can I get $45 to buy Danny's birthday present or Christmas present? And I'm like, this is supposed to be from you, not from me paying for this from you.
Yeah.
So then I told both of them this year, I'm like, this is the last year we're paying for your gifts to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had those conversations. I think your kids are just a handful of years older than mine, but I'm always like, you know, Jack would be like, okay, I want to buy Maddie this, and I want to buy Mom this, and I'm like, cool. Where's your monny? Because I know he's saving money.
That's my money. This is
exactly.
our money.
but Dad, I'm saving for a 3D printer. I'm like, yeah, cool. Buy gifts. 3D printers, no. Oh, he's a 10-year-old saving for a 3D printer because he's going to make $1 million. So
yeah,
I like the spirit. But yeah.
Oh, if you knew how much stuff that we did here, my son last year, this is the last 12 months.
Okay.
I don't remember what these things are called, but they're little like crochet kits with like the animals. Have you seen those?
Yep. Jack has those.
So I got that for my son. I got a 4-pack. So I gifted everybody in their stockings one of those, and he was the only one who did it. And then he got real into it. And then all of a sudden we're going to like Michael's and we're buying not hundreds of dollars of yarn because it's really cheap.
It is,
but ungodly amounts that a 14-year-old needs. And I'm like, you don't, but if I buy 3, I get them for this price. I'm like, there's still, I'm going to give him a hard time because I'm thinking about this right now. There's still a blanket that's not done that was supposed to be given to my wife, and there was stipulations with like punishments if he didn't finish it by her birthday. That was March 1st. And I said, this is too big of a project.
Yeah. And you should definitely give him stuff. And it's still not done. You got 2 days till Christmas. Let's see if you can bang it out.
But know what else we signed up for? And I had to pay $10, some Etsy account or something, so that he could start selling these little like minion things. And I was like, you don't have stock yet. He's like, no, I got to get the account first, and then I can build the stock. I'm like, he never even listed one. So that's being a dad.
Well, you know, and I can appreciate that because I'm like always like, I love the spirit. I love what you're trying to do. I love that you're trying to be like entrepreneurial, but like, and I've learned my lesson, but I'm like, okay, I want you to do some research before you come to me with this. Dad, I want to start a YouTube channel. Okay, well, back up. What do you want to do it on? Well, I don't know. I want to do what everybody else is doing. Well, why don't you come to me with some research and then we'll talk about it. But like, I'm down to help, just like you were just saying, right? But
he does have a YouTube channel, and he's got like 5,000 or 6,000 followers.
Heck yeah, dude! That's
I
awesome.
don't know what it's on. He's just stupid stuff.
Yeah, no, that's all it ever is.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do a face unveil when I get to 10,000, and I don't think he's done anything in like years. But
a face unveil like that. I mean, now, okay, so let's back up. Like when you were a kid, I mean, I don't know about you, but I was thinking about like BMX riding. Like that's all I did as a kid, and sports, and like, you know, I mean, camping and like hunting and stuff. Like I didn't think about this stuff. Did you think about this stuff?
There wasn't this was, I was a kid before the internet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. That's a really good point too.
So I think that sums up how old
that sums it up. Yeah. Yeah, that sure does. Well, it's like I said, it's a good time of year and I look forward to it. Coming up, I also look forward to it being done. The hustle and the bustle out there. I tried to go in Costco today and it was maddening.
Just the exit to get off at Costco was booked up or like backed up a half mile.
Oh, wow.
It was bad. Wow. That was at 1:00 today when we were going to my parents' house. So,
yeah, I got there and there was plenty of spots and I get in there and it was not the same story inside the store. So, got my 4 things and left. Cool. Well, today we kind of gonna do a little bit of a funner show, I guess. I don't know, all of them are fun, but Cornell and I are gonna go down and do like top 5 songs each that we like to lift to. Most of the ones I wrote down are ones that I've like had a PR to, or it's just I know will like get me going. But I think first we should talk about a little bit of like the idea of music and lifting. And like, personally, I don't like to be attached to music. I found that there's times where I lift really good with music. And I found there's times that I don't lift good with music. And I think it just really depends on the situation. I don't like to have music in my ear when I'm at a competition. But when I first started competing, I had like a pair of over-ear headphones and I would wear them. And then I could see my coach at the time would be like, all right, take a rep. And I'd take it off, put it down, come back. And I'd hear like 30 seconds of song, take them off. And so I was like, that's just too much. I know you wear an earbud, but I don't know if you do it during competition. I like to train to music. Sometimes I need a little push. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. What's your thought on the music while you're training?
So I pretty much never wear earbuds unless it is competition. And the way that my cards are run and the way that my process is I don't need to hear much from my coach because I have a different way of that I like it done. And I don't want to say that I run my own cards, but I basically know how much time I have. And then it's my coach's job to make sure that my timer is correct.
Okay.
So I don't want to, honestly, I don't want to talk to my coaches. I don't want to hear anything about them. I would honestly rather load my own weights because I'll do it when I'm ready and it doesn't have to be this communication back and forth.
Yeah.
I like to get it set up where I know I'm 20 minutes out roughly, and then I go and I just do my own thing. And that's honestly how I would prefer it. I know that I'm going to be on time if I do it the way that I like to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of my coaches leading up to meets, they started to understand my process. Like Josh, he was never a coach, but he learned my process and it clicked in his brain as well. And we were always right on time. Like I like to take my last lift 2 minutes before my name's called.
Okay.
And that's the perfect time. And when I've let other people kind of go their process and their way, I'll end up walking out and sitting down and I've got 4 or 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't want this. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I normally have earbuds in then, and that's about it.
Okay. I like that. I think when I'm warming up, I don't know if I've competed enough to get to the point where I fully am engaged. I personally, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a little bit of a diva thing to say or whatever, but I like to just like focus in on lifting and that's it. And still to an intermediate point in lifting to where all I wanted my coach to do at the time is just to point, go. That you don't need to talk to me. You don't need to say anything to me. Just point. Tell me when to go. Keep me on time. I personally, I like it when somebody loads for me. It makes, I don't know why. I think that I'm just like that, but it's kind of fun. And it allows me to not worry and not strain, be overly stressed. And Damon can attest to this. I when it comes to barbell math in an intense session, my brain don't work. It just is like gone. So knowing me, I'd load the wrong weight. So I do need that coach there. But as far as music goes, I do like the sights and sounds. I kind of like to see what other people are looking at and other people are lifting. And this last one that I did with you at Masters Nationals, I didn't have any music. And I felt like I liked the way that you and I communicated. We didn't talk much. You talked to me at the very beginning. You talked to me when I got up to the board, and that was about it. And that's all that I need. You told me when to lift. You told me when not to lift. And but the music side of things, like when it comes to training, man, I'm all over the board.
Sure.
And it's just one of those things that like sometimes I think you said it best pre-show, which is that's just situational. Certain songs for certain situations.
Yeah. So I'll back up a little bit. I don't load my weights, but I would like to. But my coaches have never let me.
Oh, they know.
So
that's awesome.
Like I would like to, but I'm also at the point now with enough people. Like if Nick's running my cards, we're on the same page always.
Yeah.
So it's very easy where, what I don't want to do is all of a sudden do a competition and Nick's doing my cards and nowhere near my weights.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, but so when I'm coaching someone though, and running their cards, I don't have that trust with them that I have with myself. And I know that they don't have that control that I have when I'm in competition. So when I'm running cards, especially for someone I don't know, I don't want them to have their earbuds in. I want them to be present in what's going on. And I want them to be ready to go when I tell them to go.
Yeah.
For me, if anyone heard the music, I guess we can start with some of like what I'm listening to. Yeah. I'm listening to freaking like Ruthie B or the Vitamin String Quartet.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm listening to stuff to calm me down.
Okay.
And to keep my heart rate down, not to pump me up, because I don't need to be pumped up, because I know what I'm about to do and I know where I'm kind of going to be going. And I don't want to get there too soon. So for me, it's very slow, calming music.
You said Ruthie B?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Ruthy.
That's what sorry. That's what I put in. I was just like, maybe it's spelled different. Ruthie B. Okay.
Okay. Lost Boy.
They'll look that up.
Everyone knows that song.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. So you're saying that when you're lifting, you like to you need music to like slow your roll a little bit.
I need to calm my heart rate down, slow my breathing. I don't need, because there's so much adrenaline getting ready to go that I'm trying to compress that down until it's time to actually go out.
That's interesting, because sometimes what happens, oh dude, this song's great. And when I'm lifting, or not even when I'm lifting, music does this thing to me where it brings out emotion. Yeah. And I can be listening to a song going down the road and like I get what I call cry face, but I'm not crying. I'm just like
I have that feeling.
Yeah, and I'm just and it's songs like this that do this, but there's also a part of that emotion that's coming out that brings a level of like intensity. Like you want to go hard because this song is just so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
And that's only for snatches.
And this this song is specifically to snatches.
This would be snatching, getting ready for competition. Pretty much her whole album. I'll just put it on, and by the time it's done, I'm ready to go out.
Nice. That's awesome. Legally, I can't play their songs very long, so if I cut it off before people want to hear it, that's why. I've actually been fined or tried to be fined or told to cease and desist because of this once. So, okay. that's a beautiful song. I just want to say that. I really do like that song. And it's brings some feels. I'm going to completely change the tone. And this is called Numa by Tool. And I'm all my life I've wanted to be a drummer. Just never done it. Mm-hmm. And I really find a lot of strength in drumming. And this song, definitely the drummer for Tool is probably one of my favorite drummers, but this song is pretty intense. It's one of those songs that I didn't really like at first, but then it kept on coming on to my playlist. And all of a sudden I was finding myself getting really like, it always hit at about 90% of my snatch on big days. And so I'm like, there's something with the song and the moment that keeps on connecting that I was like, okay, this is a song. This is going to be on my playlist. And it's Tool, Tool.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit slower. And then it ramps up and it gets pretty hard, but it's spelled Pneuma. And it's not very many words, but it's just something about it that like jacks me up. So I don't know. I like it. All right. So that song right there is just really, it hits at 90% every time. Every time we're in my playlist. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Okay. So, and that purely is a snatching song.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. So what about a clean and jerk song? What's something like if you were like, all right, let's go, let's throw some clean and jerks on the bar. What are we listening to?
Something just like Ruthie B.
All right.
This band, older band.
Okay.
Limp Bizkit song called Break Stuff.
The best intros in ever. Like I love their intros. You got a specific?
Break Stuff.
I think, what is it? Break Stuff. Yeah.
Because that's when like, okay, calm time is over. This is the part I hate doing. So I have to like summon all of the rage and all of the adrenaline just to try to put it on the bar. And I make big jumps. And I really don't like clean and jerking. Like, okay. Especially in competition, just because it's heavy and I just don't. If there was a snatch only competition, I would freaking love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I have to like put it all out there, and then when it's over, it's over, and then I just like there's nothing else I have to do.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm with you. This is definitely on my list. the middle of this song where he breaks it down and then he just drops it. Yeah. It's one of the best moments in this style of music. Like, yep. I don't care where I'm at. I want to break something. Like literally, he does a good job of doing that. And I got to go to one of my favorite intros of his, and it's Hot Dog. The intro to this, like,
yep. Well, I remember when this song came
Chocolate
out.
Starfish is. Yep. Like, I mean, it just, yeah. If you don't get pumped up to this song, I don't know. I don't know. But then it goes into some using the F word a bunch. And from a garage lifter standpoint, I kind of got to be careful with that because I'll turn it up really loud. And then like people walking by are like, who's this bald guy with a beard, like getting all aggressive lifting in his garage? Because 90% of the time the door's open. So, dude, Limp Bizkit is interesting. Have you, I know you like them, but have you seen like kind of what they're doing these days?
Oh yeah. It's awesome.
I love it. He's like a resurgence, I think.
Yeah. He came out for some concert and they thought it was a joke and they didn't know it was him until he started singing. And I was like, it's so good.
It is so good. I mean, I love it because like, I would say out of a lot of artists, he got a lot of hate and whatever. I think it's great. I like his music. I like I'm not going to just throw on a Limp Bizkit song, but when I'm lifting, I'm definitely doing that. So I'm going to move it all the way, move the needle to a little bit more of the classical side of things. And this is an artist called Alice Sarah Ott, and she's a pianist. I just learned that's what I'm supposed to say. She is a pianist, but she has an she has was it this one? No, Nightfall. There we go. An album that I will listen to fully through. And this is I cannot pronounce it. I'm just gonna say number 1, Lent. It's originally done by Erik Satie, but it's just all piano, and it's like, to me, it's a beautiful, just like ballet of music. It just goes so perfectly, and snatching to this is something really epic, because it builds and then it drops down and then it builds, and it's just like, it's like going out and watching waves in the ocean. Yeah. You see it coming in, and it builds up and it drops, and then you see another one comes, and it's like, that's kind of what we do in this world of weightlifting. Is we build up in our training, we have these cycles, right, and then we drop. Like, I'm in a drop right now. I've had a month of 2 days a week lifting, basically, and it's a psychological mess. But I know, because I'm confident that once January hits, I'll be fine, because I'll be hitting it back up again. But there's something about there's 2 instruments. It's the cello and the piano that really hit me when it comes to this type of music. And like I said before, it's so soft. And
that's what I would listen to. I think since I've been at the Strength Tank in about 2.5 years, I think I've worn earbuds like 3 times there.
Yeah.
This is like the kind of stuff that I would listen to when it would be the noise canceling. It would be, I want to just zone everything out. Mm-hmm. And I want to be the only one at the gym, like audioly, but I want to be around all the other people.
Yeah. That's a really good way of putting it.
But so this is the kind of music I would listen to in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. What was, I don't know what she's saying. It is one of those things. And, when I'm having like a hard day and I'm out there lifting, this is on. And generally, the people in the family kind of know, if I'm putting this on, that I'm probably I'm trying to work through something. Let's just say that. All right. These are really the thing I like about our choices here are they're not your I guess standard idea of maybe what weightlifters listen to.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. I don't know what she is talking about on here, but I
think I started saying headphones and earbuds, and I said headbuds.
You were going to say headbuds. All right. Yeah. Okay. And
so that's pretty much all I would probably listen to. My other thing, when I had the garage gym and we had people here on the regular, is I was not a fan of people changing the music every song. That would drive me crazy. Especially like when the song's not even over. It was always much more of like, let's just put something on that everyone can handle and enjoys and doesn't absolutely hate, and kind of go with that. That is kind of one of the hard parts being at a big gym, is you might be the first one there. So you put on, I try to be courteous with the music that I'll put on, and I won't necessarily put on what I want to listen to, but I try to put on something that everyone can, it's not going to want to be changed immediately. But then someone else walks in, they're like, oh, this is terrible. And they put on what they want. And then someone else walks in and it just keeps changing and changing and changing. And that really drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But recently I am putting on much more like older school, like rap, hip hop kind of stuff, like Ja Rule or Nas, or trying to think of some of the other ones, just like the stuff from high school and college, where it's like so many people know these songs, but they might not have heard them in a long time. And then there's a better chance they're going to leave it on because they might want to put like rap on or something like that. And they're like, oh, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
And it's way better than the crap that's out today.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And I like that. When I used to run the CrossFit gym, I used to do this thing where I would, like, if somebody, say whoever got first place in the Metcon the day before, got to pick the music, on the next workout. And that's like, it just kept it interesting. I always like it when people put on stuff that I don't know. And then that way I don't even have to think about it. I'm just like, cool. Don't even have to think about putting on music. But when we're in my garage, I think I overthink it a little bit. There has been a couple times that Damon's like, can you change the song? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. But I also, I think when I was lifting at Masters last, when I was walking out on the stage, it was like Pink was on. And it doesn't, at the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to say is music doesn't really matter, because you can tune it out. And if you're in, it shouldn't be a vice, but it should be something that helps you and that's kind of like fun and brings the environment, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's also good though to train without music sometimes, because
that.
there are lots of times where the music stops and it doesn't work, or you might show up to a competition and they don't either have music, or the same speaker that is doing the talking is doing the music, so then they can't play the music. And you should be able to learn how to lift that way. Also, in competition, I think that's part of what helps me in competition wear earbuds. Is I'm so used to not wearing earbuds that when it's time to go on the stage, you can't wear them. So then you pull them out and it kind of brings you a little bit more back to reality. And it's like, I was in my little La La Land right now, and now it's go time.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. I think that for me, I'm just always too hyper focused on everything. And so the least amount of things that I need to be focused on, like for instance, if I had an earbud in and I'd be worried about it falling out, even though it wouldn't fall out. Right. But I would be thinking about it. I don't want to think about it. I want to think about just lifting that bar. And I think that's just my overthinking part of my brain that likes to kick in those big moments. And, I can appreciate what you're saying. Like it kind of takes you out, and it's like, all right, here we go. Because now this is reality. This is what I trained for. This is what we're going out there for. So have you decided if you're going to do it or not, or do you have a date? The Masters. Sorry, I just completely switched on you right there.
I will be there, but I am not intending to do it.
You're not intending to do it. Okay.
As of right now, I'm not intending.
Yeah.
We're going to have potentially 12 plus lifters from our gym.
Oh, nice.
So as one of 3 coaches who would probably be there. I don't think that it would be right for me to compete. And I would rather help other people to do what they want to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that you said that, because I don't know if I've had a coach that's also competed at the same time before. But it seems a little tough to do. Have you ever done it?
Yeah, I've done it a lot of times, but it's also there's potentially, I mean, Nick is probably going. So there's a couple reasons that like I want to be able to be there for him and help coach him through that. I don't want to necessarily be competing against him. I've already won these, so I don't want to like it's easy for me not to do it. It's also, it would be easy for me to get sucked into it and then just go like, I want to win all of these things. But since I've already done it, it's not necessarily, I've already checked it off. So I don't feel as much like I need to do it. Yeah. And I know that I can have just as much fun going and then helping out people and then lifting in the back, and kind of like I did at finals. Hopefully we'll have a better outcome at final or at nationals than we did at finals for somebody who I won't speak his name, Nick.
But he will.
Yeah. No, I know.
It only takes one time, or I don't know if that's his only time, but I mean, it only took me one time to realize, oh shit, can't do that.
So, and I also know that I don't necessarily want to go for like the Grand Slam. Yeah. And it would be a great year to do it, but it's also just one of those things where I have too much stuff going on in life. We're going to be selling our house soon. We're going to be moving across the country soon. There's a lot of things going on where there's no way that I could like justifiably convince my wife that it's okay for me to do 4 national meet or international meet, national/international meets that are not close here over the next 12 months.
Well, I can appreciate that. And that's kind of actually, I wanted to little transition into this. And this is something that has been on my mind lately. And I mean, we got about 10 minutes or so we'll quickly talk about this. But there's, like I think I referenced this earlier. I'm in a down month. I'm in a month where I'm, a lot of life things happening. It's basically forced me to I don't want to say put it on the back burner, but like say, you know what, the priority isn't up as high as it usually is. So I'm going to lift when I can. And big shout out to my lifting partner Damon. Like that dude has seriously had my back this whole time. Like that guy's like, anytime you want to come to my garage, anytime you need a place to lift, just let me know. Even if I'm not there, you can hit it up. So shout out to him on that. But, we went to lunch and I said, there's something about what's happening in this month that I can really appreciate. My body's not swollen all the time. My appetite is normal. I'm not eating a truck. I wake up and I can get out of bed and it's not like, crack. Oh God, everything hurts. There's something about that's like, oh, I forgot about this because I got so used to feeling like I got hit by a truck every morning.
Yeah.
But there's also something else, which is, my 2 days a week maintaining, my numbers have not really gone down.
Sure.
Which is, I think that a lot of people out there will be like, oh, 2 days a week. You went from what? I went from 4 to 5 to 2. And I just hit, I think I was telling you guys, and this isn't anything big, but I had a 160. I said this last time with beltless and never done that before. And it was easy. And so I'm here to debunk, I guess, what the popular thing is what you got to be in the gym 6-7 days a week to maintain. You don't.
No, absolutely not. No, I think they say that, I think it's been proven that to maintain, you only have to do 1/3 the volume but push the intensity the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to maintain. It's not easy to progress, but maintaining is easy.
Yeah.
But you have to put in so much extra time and effort to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I think that there's something to be said about pulling back, doing that third, still pushing it on the third, and then letting your body recover and setting yourself up to get to go hard again.
Yeah. And that's exactly what's happening, dude.
I think there's too many people out there that I don't want to say that they're overtraining, but they are overtraining for what their capability is, knowing that they have full-time jobs. Half of them have families. They have the other half that don't have families have very active social lives, and they're going out at night and they're drinking and they're doing all these other things that are not good for their training. And they're in the gym 5+ days a week, and it's like they're not getting the recovery they need.
Correct.
So yeah, I think that's definitely something that to be said. I also heard something, I forgot what I was listening to, but they were talking about social jet lag. Have you ever heard that term?
I have not. No.
So what they were pretty much saying is you should, and we all kind of know this, but they explained it. You should be going to bed the same time and waking up the same time 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And the majority of people, especially younger people,
Mm-hmm.
the weekend comes and they stay up 3 hours later, and then they go to bed 3 hours later.
Oh, shit.
And they do that Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So they are basically giving themselves like a 3-hour time difference jet lag every single week.
Yeah.
When their body will perform the best if they just are diligent and they go to bed at the same time regardless. Like I'm in bed, I would say 28 of the 30 days of the month, I'm in bed by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm up regardless. Literally 30 of the 30 days, I'm up between like 5 and 5:25 without an alarm.
Okay.
Like 7 days a week, I am always up.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think is a really good thing, because I can kind of look at the clock and I'm like, oh, I need to get to bed, because I know I'm going to wake up when I'm going to wake up, because that just doesn't change ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I just have to kind of force myself to make sure that I do everything that I can do to be in bed by 9, maybe 9:15, and lights out by 9:30.
Yeah, I like that. I'm pretty consistent. I'm definitely up a little bit later than you, and primarily because it's when my kids go to bed, and it's when I do a little bit more work. So I'm basically, what I do is I open my laptop up and I get prepared for the next day. So my mornings are not as hectic, and so I'm going to bed probably around 11 o'clock at night. Getting up at my alarm goes off at 6. We're out the door by 7:20, 7:25. And but it's consistent, and it's that way. And I'm a big proponent, and I know the rest of my family is not, but I'm a big proponent of waking up at the same time on the weekends. They definitely are not. But hey, I can appreciate what you're saying with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's consistency, and your body needs to be able to have some consistency in the eyes of recovery, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I don't fall asleep easily, and I wake up a lot, so it takes a lot. I'm kind of looking at my past 6 months on my phone in my sleep app.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in bed on average 10 hours and 9 minutes a night, but I'm averaging 8 hours and 22 minutes of sleep. So that means that there's like an hour and 10 minutes that I'm awake. To get that 8 hours.
But I mean, the main thing is you're consistent on when your head is hitting that pillow, and you're like, I don't know what the difference is between laying down in bed and kind of, getting ready for sleep versus, I mean, obviously there's an obvious difference between it, but like, there's got to be some sort of good state for your brain. And even if you're laying in bed, I don't know.
Yeah, my mom's from Europe, and her mom used to always tell her that the sleep you get before midnight, your body counted it like it acts as double. Like the amount of rest you'll get before midnight is twice as much as the rest you'll get after midnight. And she was definitely not a scientist or anybody like that. But kind of the way that my brain always breaks stuff down is I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock no matter what.
Yeah.
If I fall asleep at 8 o'clock, or if I fall asleep at 10:45, I can tell myself, oh, it's 11 o'clock at night. I need to sleep now till 7 a.m. But that's not going to happen. I might lay in bed for an extra hour, but I'm not getting the actual rest that I need like I would be if I'm asleep. But I know that if I fall asleep at 9, I'm going to be for the most part asleep for 3 hours there, and then
Yeah.
I'll still be getting up at 5. So
Yeah,
that's kind of how that's how it broke down in my brain.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, no, and I think the moral of this conversation is that consistent sleep is good for the body. It's good for your recovery. It's good for just overall health. Like you want to be healthy, get good sleep, and it's the one thing we can control. Well, one of many, but one of the biggest things. All right, dude. Well, we're 45 minutes in. Cool. Good conversation. I know I kind of opened that up a little late. Maybe we can go back into it on the next show. There is one thing that Damon, I brought Damon up 4 times this show. We were talking and he was like, hey, I like the length of your show because it always makes me want to listen, because by the time you guys are done, I want to keep on listening. So I like that. So we'll do that next time. We'll talk more about sleep. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great Christmas. Thank you for listening, or a holiday, or whatever you celebrate. Thank you so much for listening to the Max Everett Kitchen. And Cornell, as always, thank you, buddy. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas with you and your family.
You too.
Cool. And I think that's it. So everybody, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.